Hi there, welcome back with me in English Sis. Today I'm going to be with you in Unit 9, Cities of the World. Section closer look to. Now, first let's take a look at what we'll have today. The present perfect. 1. Listen again to the part of conversation and pay attention to the present perfect. Put the verbs in practice into the present perfect. Put the verbs in practice in the correct form. 4. Look at Tom's web page. Tell a partner what he has done this week. And number 5, class survey. So here are 5 activities, and before we start, now let's take a look at present perfect, and I will help you to know more about this tense. Now please let's take a look at the present perfect tense, and I will give you some more example about the tense. First, I have done something, or she has done something. Remember, I, you, we, they have done. And she, he, my, Hoa, Peter has done something. Okay? Example, I have been to Sapa. I have been to, that means I went there and I came back and I'm not there now. I have been to Sapa, I have been to Singapore, I have been to America, etc. I have been to Sapa twice or 3 times or 4 times. For example, I have been to Sapa twice this month, twice this year, twice this summer, that kind of thing. I have never been to Sapa. I've never been to Sapa. I've never been to THØI. I've never been to Hanoi. That means I never gone there. Okay. And now look at here. I have gone to Sapa. Be careful. I have been to Sapa. That means I went there and I come back home. But I have gone to Sapa. That means I went there and I am still there now. Okay? Yeah. Now, you look at the high frequently used words in present perfect tense. Never, ever, just, already, recently, for, since, so far. Okay? So never, I never done something. Ever is always used in interrogative or in question. For example, have you ever been to DANH? Have you ever eaten hamburger? Have just done something. For example, I have just eaten lunch. I have just written a letter to Peter. Okay, have just. Already done, or done already. For example, I've already eaten lunch. I have eaten lunch already. That kind of thing. Okay. Recently, same. For. Be careful with for. I lived here for 20 years. I have learned English for 3 years. Okay. Since. I've learned English. I learned English since 2010. Okay, example. So far, that means up to now, until now, up to the present, or up to this point. So far can go at the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. For example, so far, Vietnam has recorded 241 cases of COVID-19 virus, or Vietnam has recorded 241 cases of COVID-19 virus so far. Okay? Now, another form of present perfect like haven't done is negative, right? Negative. I haven't done something, or she hasn't done something. Haven't, I haven't, you haven't, they haven't, we haven't. Nam and Hoa haven't. Plural. And she hasn't, he hasn't, Hoa hasn't, Peter hasn't, singular. Okay. And in question or interrogative, have you done something? Has she done something? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Well, yes, she has. No, she hasn't. In question word, we put the question word at the beginning of the question here, yet no question. For example, why, with, how, where, when, what. Okay, have you done something? Alright, so here is an overview of present perfect, and you can learn more about this tense somewhere on the internet. Okay, now come back to our lesson today. Let's get started with activity number 1. Listen again to part of the conversation. Pay attention to the present perfect. Okay, here is activity number 1. Now you look at the conversation between Mai and Tom, and then you listen.
Activity 1. Listen again to part of the conversation. Pay attention to the present perfect.
What nice photos! Have you been to all these places?
Yes, I've been to most of them. This is Rio de Janeiro. It's an exciting city, but sometimes it's very hot.
Is the weather there hotter than in Sydney?
Oh, yes. Sydney isn't so hot. I've been to the beaches there many times with my family. They're the cleanest and most beautiful in the world.
Is this London? What bad weather!
Yes, we've been there twice.
So let's take a look at present perfect in this conversation. In here we have you been? Have you been to? Have you been to Hanoi? Have you been to Da Nang? Have you been to THØI? Have you been to Singapore? Have you been to America? Etc. Have you been to? Right? Here I've been to. Okay. Here I've been to, and here we've been there. We've been there twice. We've been there 3 times. We've been there 4 times. We've been there. That means we went there and we came back home already. Remember, been there means came there and returned home. Okay? We are home now, but we have been there twice. Okay? Remember. Right. Okay, now we move to activity number 2. Put the verbs in practice into present perfect. Alright, here is activity 2. Put the verbs in practice into present perfect. 5 sentences and 5 verbs in bracket. You put it into present perfect. Now, I'll help you. Number 1, Tom to Rio de Janeiro, Sydney and London. Good. Has been. Now 2, the family to the beaches in Sydney many times. So, the family has been. Now, Tom visits London twice. Tom has visited London twice. Okay. His brother to New York, easy one, has been to New York. But he there. What? Hasn't, right? He hasn't been there. He hasn't been there. He hasn't been to New York. So Tom hasn't been to New York. Okay. Yeah. Now we move to activity number 3. Put the verbs in bracket in correct form. Here is activity number 3. Put the verbs in practice in the correct form. So you look at the 6 sentences here and I'll help you. 1. High School Musical. Oh yes, I love it. So, what have you seen? Right? I have seen it many times. You know, many times, twice, 3 times, 4 times, many times. Okay. I often go very late. So often is simple present. That's mean go. Okay. I never be on TV. So never here. Never here. You can see the word never. And here is have. Never be been on TV. Okay. They every week. Present simple. Okay. So clean. Right. Usually every day. Okay. Take simple. My sister loves the restaurant. Remember this word, restaurant. You don't say restaurant. Oh my god. No. Okay. Restaurant. My sister loves the restaurant and she hundreds of times, twice, 3 times, 4 times, many times, hundreds of times. So here, has eaten, there, hundreds of times. Okay? We move to activity 4. Look at Tom's webpage and tell a partner what he has done this week. Okay. Alright, here is activity number 4. Look at Tom's webpage. Here's Tom's webpage. And tell a partner what he has done this week. Has done. Okay, so let's have a look. Here, read book. Here, eat noodles or eat pho. Okay, here, play football. Here, get good mark, get A+ mark. Here, what here? Yeah, watch dog. Okay, watch dog. Right. So you tell your partner what Tom has done. That means we use present perfect. So I'll have you. Here, what? Tom has read book. Okay. Here, he has eaten pho or maybe noodles. I don't know, not sure about it. Here, he has played football, or you can say played soccer. Maybe. In here we have he has got a plot. Okay, he's got a plot. Good mark. Here he has washed his dog. Alright, so you can use these sentences to tell your partner. Okay, practice speaking with your partner. We move to activity number 5, class survey. Okay, so here is class survey. A survey, that means you put the question to your classmate to ask him or ask her some information about anything. Okay, so go around the class asking the survey questions and find out one thing that everyone has done or one thing no one has done. So you put the question, have you ever? Alright. For example, have you ever sung karaoke? Have you ever talked on the phone for 1 hour? Have you ever been on TV? Have you ever eaten ice cream in winter? Have you ever had a pet? Have you ever talked to a native speaker of English? Native speaker of English, that means an English, right? Okay, so you ask your friend this question, you ask your classmate this question, and if he or she says yes, you tick on the yes box. If say no, you tick on the no box, and then you find out the thing that everyone has done and the thing that no one has done. Okay? Yeah. Alright, so Unit 9 CD episode word section Khâu Dialogue 2 is finished here. Thank you for watching. Bye bye and see you in communication.